With Warframe having 2x Affinity event this weekend, I thought we'd go over some of the fast, good, well-known, and/or popular leveling locations and spots in Warframe, why they work well, why they're popular, and why people use them. Warframe at this point is kind of massive, don't know if you can tell. It has so many different spots where you can actually level up, it's insane. But it still has its fair share of quote-unquote meta leveling locations, so hey, might as well talk about them. We have before, and we will again, as it is always changing, but for right now, there are currently a handful. One of the favorite, well-known spots to level up your Warframes and weapons, currently, possibly forever, is Sanctuary Onslaught and Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. Sanctuary Onslaught, quite simply, this is where you will go to level up your Warframes, and Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, this is where you will go to level up your weapons. Purely because Elite Sanctuary Onslaught does require you to have a maxed rank Warframe equipped to actually do that, so you're not able to ever level a Warframe on it. Only weapons. But with Sanctuary Onslaught, you should be able to level up very quickly. What is it like? Usually within, is it 2 to 4 waves if you're good at it, and 4 to 6 sometimes too? Yeah, it always depends though, how many buffs you have, who you're playing with, things like that, what type of setup your teammates are running, because if your teammates kill a bunch of the enemies, that affinity gets shared to you, and if you do kill them with your own Warframe abilities, you get a ton of affinity to your Warframe. So yeah, affinity share in Warframe is kind of a pain. Nobody really likes it, but it is kind of what it is. It's just kind of a mess in a sense, but it is fine. As these are the most well-known and favorite maps for most people, you'll pretty much always find a group if you're on a public open lobby, I guess, no matter like any time of day. Usually you'll be okay, at least on the more populated PC anywheres servers. Who knows about console for me, because yeah. Next, we'll talk about the oh-so favorites. We have Saturn Helene. This one is a Grineer defense mission. Reason why it's such a favorite is because A, the defense mission tile is very good. It is a small room, centralized location, and it's easy to kill the entire room and wipe it, okay? Second, Grineer give more XP. So it is just a fast place to level up. You get, I think, mainly like Meso relics and maybe some Neo relics running this. You'll get a decent enough supply of just random loot, and you'll get credits. This one's probably better if you're early on in the game and if you want to farm up a ton of Orokin cells, because that's what I've used it for, and now I have hundreds of Orokin cells, so I would recommend this. This is actually my personal favorite map, but naturally it's up to you. They're all pretty similar. On the same note, we have Hydron, which is the higher level version of that same defense tile. It is literally the same tile, okay? It's just higher level, more experience. Since it is higher level, probably you'll be getting a little bit more Neo relics if you run this, but I can't quite remember the drop table off the top of my head. You'll still get decent enough random loot anyways, but the thing is, Hydron doesn't drop Orokin cells or anything since this is Sedna, whereas the resource drone. Yeah, you can get that sort of loot, so yeah, the loot on just basic resources for a lot of people won't be as good, so I would keep that in mind. Hydron and Helena, Helene, call it what you will. These are pretty much very well known, big favorite spots amongst many players as well. Like, it's one of those, it's always been a good spot, well, for the longest couple of years at least, whereas like Draco was a big one back in the day, but these ones are good without a doubt. Next, I want to quickly go over to Neptune to talk about Salacia. This is an Archwing mobile defense, and it's my personal favorite, and I think many other personal favorites for Archwing leveling. I just think it's one of the faster, simpler, good Archwing maps to run. You get decent enough loot from it, and I am not a fan of Archwing, so this is the map for me that makes Archwing the least painful level possible. So that's why I always like running Salacia. It's different for anyone. We do have a couple other things we'll go over, so it's not like your only option is here. In the end of the day, do whatever leveling you truly want, but I love this one for mobile defense Archwing. Plus, I'll get some good mods from it if I recall. I got a lot of decent ones while I was leveling my Archwings here. So it's up to you. Okay, now we'll talk about Railjack. Ever since Railjack has come out, it actually has been a pretty good leveling location all in all. It is good for leveling both Archwing and your Warframe, depending on how and what your general crew setup is if you have a proper team. Railjack can be very hit or miss. If you don't have a proper team, it's probably not worth running it. Pugs can be just the biggest shit show ever, so in my experience, without a dedicated team, you might not want to run Railjack, but as you can see, it's a very high Grineer missions. If you just go to the Veil Proxima, you can run these nodes for, what is it, the sentient shards or cores or whatever, the sentient anomaly things. So they're high level missions. You can just do Flexa, you can do Nasu Grid. You should definitely do high level Railjack if you have a decent enough team, if you know what you're doing. Hey, if you have a crew, you might be fine. Since these are skirmishes, you're mainly just destroying ships anyways, so I would say check it out. But if you don't know what Railjack is and you're not experienced, definitely not worth it there. Since we did talk about Hydron and Helene, I think it'll be worth mentioning this. It's usually a good idea to generally, as a rule of thumb, stick to leveling on the Grineer tiles on the star chart. Reason being is the Grineer just straight up have an experience boost built into them. I don't know why, I can't quite remember if it's like 25%, if it's 100%, if it's 75% or what, but Grineers have a straight up affinity like experience boost, right? So the reason why Hydron and Helene over here and so many other Grineer tiles are so good for leveling is purely because Grineer just give more experience, okay? It's kind of funny in my opinion. So if you want to, you can always just run never-ending Grineer missions, right? Hell, you can run the Grineer Survival Selkie. You can just run that. You'll level very quickly, especially in just pugs. If everyone stays close and affinity share works properly, you'll get a ton of affinity. Of course, this is up to you. I just think like it's not really worth if you're going out of your way to level on like just a random survival. You might as well just do a Grineer survival. High level Grineer survival, Saturn Sedna. Lower levels, do it what you will. Depends where you are in the game naturally, so I would recommend leveling off Grineer tiles if possible. And the last thing I did want to talk about in general is the dark sector maps. So dark sectors, I believe, have to always be infested, and they have the pretty sick bonus of affinity boosts and drop chance boosts. So you can go to some pretty decent dark sector survivals like this one here. I think, was it Gabby on Ceres over here? So you can always check them out, see what those are up to, see if you'll get some decent experience rates. I know some people like running dark sectors. I don't know if it's pretty much as good as the other methods these days. I don't think it is. But I know some people like to do it, and if you want to kill infested, it's definitely not a bad method. Plus, the nice thing about all of these dark sectors is they're thrown all around the star chart, so if you want a wide variety of resources and maps, dark sectors are just good types of maps that you can jump around and look to. Like, right, there's the one on Ceres. Warframe's one of those fun games that has a lot of symbols that are just thrown fucking everywhere that half the time you don't even think about. Like, this is boss symbols, assassination symbols, so yeah, you can just find them anywhere. So it's up to you. The previous methods will be faster, but I know people like dark sectors, and it's always lovely getting a variety of different maps and locations and resources. So those are the main things that I wanted to talk about for leveling today. If you have your own favorite maps, let me know. Let me know your own leveling methods down below. You can always do stealth affinity killing as well. It's the method where you're essentially just always stealth and you're just assassinating all the enemies. You let your affinity boost, I think, go up to 500%, and then you just keep assassinating and destroying everyone. Once you have your max affinity boost, kill them faster, and then just make sure the affinity boost stays maxed and you're good to go. There are so many methods to leveling in this game that people prefer, but a lot of them once you get down to it, they are really fast, so it's just up to what you personally prefer. So again, just let me know what you like, and if there's anything very specific, just throw it in the comments. I know a lot of people have their very niche leveling places too, so just let me know. It's very interesting to me. So guys, thank you for watching the video. If you'd like, you can check out my social medias in the description, my Linktree, my Amazon affiliate page if you want to check that out. Buy any of the Warframe type stuff I threw on there, any of the gaming stuff. But that's the end of this video. If you like it, subscribe and check out some of my other stuff. If you disliked it, dislike the video and whatnot. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you next time. Peace.